Afternoon all. Oh, alert. An alert. We've actually had an alert. Look, something's moved. Another one. I was just going to say, what do we need to move this market? Yeah, it's unbelievable, isn't it? So, look, all the alerts are going off now. The yen is moving, obviously. Employment change, 8.8 on the CAD. The unemployment rate, 7%. Still exactly the same. Same for the US dollar, 4.2 on a forecast of 4.2. The previous was 4.2. Nothing's changed. That figure is ever so slightly out, which is not really a problem. So, yeah, non-farm payroll. Didn't really do much, did it? But we have had some movement. And as you can see, we've got the yen on the move. So we'll have a quick look at that. Afternoon, by the way. Mumo, Fletch, Monkey, Robert, Wozcheck, how we doing? So Swiss yen flying up. Aussie Swiss is moving up. Aussie yen moving up. CAD yen moving up. So we've got a really weak move coming in the yen at the moment. Pound yen up. So this is the yen on the move. Nothing else. US dollar yen. Okay, so the reaction, obviously, US dollar, big move up there. But if you look at the other US pairs, we are obviously rallying a little bit on that news. So the reason being, obviously, is ever so slightly more bullish non-farm employment change, that's not the real mover. It's the unemployment rate, but it is up. So we are getting a little bit of positive movement. Let's just come straight back down again. Look. That's because it's a CAD cross, but we are getting ever such a slight movement on that dollar at the moment. So we'll see what happens. Pound US dollar dropped. So yeah, there you go. Non-farm payroll. Virtually nothing happened again. Just taking along on the DAX. Let's have a quick look at the rest of the markets. So S&P 500. Obviously, we had big moves to the upside on the indices when that news came out. Indices are kind of moving in line every time. I'm looking down there because I've launched my pen, and that's where it normally appears now. Today, it's decided to appear on the right-hand side of my screen. So, yeah, we've got obviously quite a big move up there. The US dollar moving in line with indices at the moment. So we'll see where we go. This is not a very big move that we had on the non-farm numbers. So the ADR is... We've got the ADR indicator on this chart. But ADR, as you can see, is not there yet. So we're approaching ADR. So we're having another go at those all-time highs. So if these, not all-time highs, this last weekly high. So this is where we tried to crack this week. So it's having another go at this level. If this fails again, this thing's going to collapse down, isn't it? But I get the feeling it's going to break it this time. So ADR, we've got 15 odd pips, which is just under a quarter of an ADR to go until we meet the average daily range. It's driven straight in there. And as you can see, we've got a lot of liquidity coming in here. So there's an iceberg order sitting at that high of the week, which is driving price back down again. They do not want to let it out, do they? But we got some fair old momentum today, so we might get a break. We might actually get a break today. So we'll see where we go. NASDAQ rejecting a lot more strongly than the S&P. So we've got divergence. Look at that. Divergence on the NASDAQ and the S&P. Bullish move on the S&P. Bearish move on the NASDAQ. Going to be an interesting session. It is all over the place at the moment. This all stock indices at the moment are just all over the place, as you can see by my P&L. Just whipping up, down, up, down. Can't get any breaks at all. The only thing we've had is obviously news driving it. But other than that, the whole thing is just sideways at the moment. Not fun this week. So we'll see where we go on the open. So your ADRs today, the CAD yen, these have literally just hit. So CAD yen has just hit ADR. Swiss yen has also just hit ADR. I am looking to take a trade on the Swiss yen. Do I want to take that up there? So this is kind of where I was looking at getting a trade on, somewhere between 100 to 125 ADR. So I might just give this a little bit of time and just see what happens in the next sort of 15 minutes. See if we get some signs of rejection up here, because we are getting to exhaustion point for the day. And obviously we've had some news come in. So that non-farm payroll move could easily very quickly undo itself. So the Swiss yen's obviously hit, so that's not a bad opportunity. We've got a weekly range extension now on the CAD yen, but obviously it is because of the news. And US dollar yen, obviously ADR on that one as well. So 5-minute reversal alert on that one is here. So we'll see if this dollar can actually get some movement. Other than that, looking at the RSI dash, absolutely flat again. The only thing we've got is one extension just about extended on RSI on the hourly for the US dollar yen, and that is also a propulsion gap. So we've also got these up here as well. So if we got to 125, 150 ADR today, that would be a good short, potentially. But I'm looking at the Swiss yen as my preferred pair at the moment. So we'll watch this. They're all the same. So obviously the reason all of these ADRs are there is because the yen has dropped. So it's just take one of them. If you take all of them, obviously you're tripling your risk. Okay, so Nasdaq's forming an inside bar, as is the Dow at the moment. S&P, there is no range on the S&P. That was too small. And the S&P is going for a break. So news-wise today, apart from that, obviously there's no more news today. That's it. We're done now. Afternoon, Lunary, Brian. So we're done now for news for the day, which is great. This morning, obviously, if you look at the, let's roll back and look at what's happened this morning after the live stream this morning. So obviously we covered all in this morning stream, all the overnight stuff that's happened with Trump and various bits and pieces. The upshot of yesterday's news was basically that Lagarde has come out and said that 2.15 is going to probably be the baseline for inflation, meaning that we will likely not get an interest rate drop again for the euro in July, probably not in August either. So I would say that this is bottomed out now for the foreseeable, which means that the euro should go into more of a sort of rangy, slightly bearish, if anything, stance, but more likely just sit around now with no power. So it will give the other symbols a chance to operate on the euro and drive it up and down based on their strength. So the euro is not really expected to have any strength of its own at the moment, unless anything happens with Trump, obviously, and we've got no trade agreements in place with Europe at the moment. So that is still an ongoing issue. So at any time that could obviously change. But that looks like the euro rate is done now. So no more bearish movement on the euro or bullish movement on the euro sort of short term. This morning's news, obviously, you got some comments come out of ECB, but Bank of Japan is said to consider smaller reductions in bond buying. I don't really pay much attention to what the BOJ does with this at the minute, because we know we've got a strong yen at the moment. They're now using interest rates to control inflation. So they've fallen back in line with more what everybody else is doing by increasing interest rates. So the bond purchases, I think, are less important now. The less bond purchasing they do, the less intervention they can do. So that might well weaken the yen. But market, I don't think, is reacting too much to that. No plans for a Trump call with Musk. They've fallen out. Not sure why they should. So there's your news just come through on the in unemployment rates. I expect US-China meeting to take place within 7 days. So we're going to get some movement on the China tariffs in the next week. Short-term interest rate futures pair earlier losses as traders tighten bets on Fed rate cuts after bets on Fed rate cuts after job data. So that's why we've got a bullish dollar, because unlikely we're going to drop the interest rates, which strengthens the currency. But we will wait and see. Okay, Nasdaq long, Dow long, S&P long, DAX long. I'm long. There we go. So long trades on everywhere. Obviously buying on this breakout. So hopefully this momentum will continue. Swiss yen, we're out of ADR now. So we're up in a zone basically where we want to start looking for shorts. We're just about to get an RSI extension at the end of this candle when that closes. So we've got this high coming up now, which is your last month's high, which will be the first resistance point. That's backed up a quarter of an ADR later by the previous month's high. So this zone here, obviously, is where the sellers currently reside. So this is our next test of this level. So this is the fourth test of this area. Obviously, you can see that we are ever so slightly moving up in with higher highs. So there is a lot of pressure for this to push out the highs now. So when we get up to there, there's a good mean reversion opportunity. Obviously, if it isn't the point where we are going to break, what we will do is just come back down again, a percentage of that. So there's a good opportunity for shorts up here. We've got an RSI extension about to trigger on that one in the next hour as well. So I'm going to give that the next 15, 20 minutes. The reversal alert's going to go in there. But we'll see. So might well take a trade on that one. Aussie New Zealand is in profit. We are testing the highs. So this is Wednesday's high. That is high from Friday last week. And then obviously we've got a couple of little areas here. So that's your downside resistance at the moment. We did have a crack through it, but back up into propulsion, which they resold. So looking for a push up into here on that one. Afternoon, Ryan. I think the Trump-Musk beef should be settled in a wrestling ring. That would be fun to watch, wouldn't it? Wouldn't that be amazing? Never going to happen. I'm not actually sure who'd win that, to be honest. You know, Musk's a bit, I don't know, just looks a bit gangly. I don't think he'd be very good in a ring. Trump, obviously, old. So you got a bet on Musk, haven't you? Wrestling, though. I suppose it'd be good if they picked the chairs up and started smashing each other overhead with chairs. That'd be good fun to watch. Who knows? Right, just got to manage these positions because I've got quite a lot of positions on here. So if we are going to break long on all indices this afternoon, DAX is going to go with it. The question is, how far are we going to go? What is ADR? It's 28,650. Okay, so that high there is pretty much ADR today. So obviously measuring from the low, that's ADR. So that, if we are going to go for a run today and try and crack some of these highs on the US indices, that should easily be achievable. So I'm going to leave that in place as it is. S&P. Obviously upside targets S&P wise. Yeah, I mean, we're out into new territory here, aren't we? So I'm just going to leave it at the standard risk reward for the moment. There's no resistance. There's no upside resistance that's going to stop us. So we're out in new territory. NASDAQ, I think we've got the same situation, haven't we? Oh, no, we haven't. NASDAQ. Okay, so NASDAQ, yesterday's high, obviously is the rejection point. I'm just going to move the NASDAQ partial down into propulsion just to get out of that one a little bit quicker. I've got a lot of exposure on, so I just want to make sure I get out a little bit quicker on one of them. So NASDAQ will be my quick exit rather. FTSE I'm not in. Dow Jones, almost at partial. That's locked in with a trailing stop loss. So that one I can't lose on. Hopefully won't get stopped out on it, but that's protected. So see where we go. Right, that's it. So anybody got anything they want to look at from an FX perspective? Yeah, Tesla stock crashing big time. I know. Musk's really. No, it's weird, isn't it? It almost seems like everything has gone wrong in the US since Trump got in. Isn't it? It's like Elon's reputation has gone through the floor. Debatable whether he had a good reputation at the start, but that's gone through the floor. His stock price of Tesla is going through the floor. All stock markets reversed and crashed because of what Trump did. There's no tariffs in place. It's just all falling apart. No, you've got to feel a little bit sorry for Elon, haven't you? Richest bloke in the world, and all of his businesses are going down the pan. I wonder how far it has to go down the pan for him to actually get into trouble financially. Don't think it's a problem, is it? So yeah, it's an interesting situation, but yeah, not good, is it? US dollar Swiss went up somehow. Yeah, the dollar's on the rally, isn't it? So the dollar's running on positive news. Whether or not it can rally too much is debatable. So we're rallying straight into propulsion here on the US dollar Swiss. So that's the Thursday high. Sorry, the Wednesday high. That's your break of that support and retest. So this is the propulsion area. This is where the sellers sit. So we're coming straight into that sell zone at the moment. So it's going to take a fair bit of US dollar strength to get through there today. I mean, there's not really, when you look at this news, everybody overreacts to non-farm payroll. We call it non-farm payroll day. It's not non-farm payroll day. What it is unemployment rate day. Yeah, this is the thing that drives the market. Unemployment rate is one of the most important leading indicators. CPI, PMIs, unemployment rate, GDP. Yeah, those things move the market because those are the things that drive inflation and interest rates. Non-farm employment change is a variable that is not as impactful because it's to do with employment. People can retire, new businesses start up, create employment opportunities. So there are multiple variables that affect the employment change rate. Yeah, unemployment rate is the number of people that the government has to pay for. That's a very different metric. And this is what is the driver. So this is a measurement of economic growth and success. That is just what's been going on in the last month. Yeah. So it's not as important. We call it non-farm payroll just because I don't know why. It's so popular as non-farm payroll, but that's what moves it. That's what moves it. If you had this released on a different day to that, you'd see that will make a little spike in the market in the same way as unemployment claims does. That would make a huge move because that's what they base interest rate decisions on. It's one of the leading indicators. Dow Jones is pulling back off the highs. Okay, we're at the new highs now. So there's your hourly candle in. So be prepared for a bit of a pullback. Aussie dollar yen weekly range extension. Wherever you are. There we go. So there's your weekly range hit on the Aussie yen. Was that an hourly candle? No, it's not. Sorry, it's not an hourly candle. It's just an alert. 10 minutes to the hourly's up. And we're just about to hit ADR on Aussie yen as well. So this yen really getting hammered today. Okay, so that's all propulsion gaps to the upside filled now on the Swiss. So we've got this lovely big downside target. There's nothing in between, though, to target. We are about to create a propulsion gap. Not particularly big, but that is going to be a propulsion gap. There's a downside target, which will probably get filled quite quick. Going to stop out on the Dow. I'm just going to move that down to a break even. there's no point in taking that tiny little bit of profit. I'm just going to either break even or I'm not on it. Okay, S&P pulling back. The whole thing is totally ridiculous, embarrassing. Well, it's just what it is, isn't it? It's Trump. He does a good job of a lot of stuff, but this time round, I think he's done it very wrong. But anyway, something will change. It has to. Going to stop out in the Dow. I don't mind stopping out on that because I've got a lot of risk on at the moment, so I don't want all of it on really. Euro pound and pound odd, if you haven't gone through them, look at those. Euro pound odd. So euro pound, I'm long at the moment. Yeah, I mean, it's just not going anywhere. So I'm long at the minute, trying to get out. I've banked on it twice. I'm just trying to get out at the highs, basically. It's costing a lot of money in swaps, this one. So I'm $125 in the hole in swaps on it. Just can't get out. It's just not moving. So the euro obviously is tanked a little bit on the news yesterday. This movement today, I don't think is anything particularly dramatic. It's just another sideways move, isn't it? So I'm looking basically just to get out if we can retest this double weekly high, which is the previous support break. So if we can get there, I'm happy. I'll just take it off. But pound odd, the one, wasn't it? Just sitting around at the minute. It's come off the highs. So we've got obviously the reversal alert and the retest gone in there. So market structure is bearish. So look for a push into propulsion. When you get into this propulsion gap, you're a 50% retracement on that leg. Or if you want to look at it like that, you're a 71.9 retracement on that leg. There's no real advantage in the pound or the odd. There's no reason for either of them to be stronger or weaker than the other. So I would just wait for some kind of strength, wait for an alert and take it. But haven't got any at the minute. Not doing anything really. Euro US dollar, do I think it's starting to look bearish? Well, yeah, we got a reversal alert. So yeah, you've had a bearish reversal alert. Back down into here and here. Watch that. So there's your reversal alert. So when you think reversal alert retests, yeah? So when you get a reversal alert happen, the push back up tends to be into some kind of propulsion. That's where your right shoulder goes in. Push back down. So yeah, it gets up into there. That'd be a good short. It's come straight out of this propulsion at the moment. Not a great propulsion gap that, but you know, with the euro US dollar, it is euro now, I think, is neutral to bearish. US dollar, we've just had some decent numbers on it, but that doesn't make it strong. So yes, we've got a knee-jerk reaction to non-farm payroll, but that doesn't mean it's going to go anywhere. Right now, I mean, you know, I work on mean reversion. We've got no signal at all. There was a signal yesterday to short it. There was a signal there to long it. There's a signal there to short it. There's no signal to do anything at the minute. So if you want to take a punt on it, it's the reversal alert, isn't it? So it's definitely more bearish than bullish right now. Putting in a nice little wick upside. I don't know what the dollar's going to do. I still don't know what the dollar's going to do. Very hard to decide. So we're just pushing up into resistance. $51. My target is all the way up there. Needs to get a good break today. Survived the Dow, pulling back on the S&P. Nasdaq's pulled back inside range. DAX back to the high of the 5-minute break from this morning. Come on, let's get some movement going. Let's get a trend day. I was thinking of longs on them, on euro, pound, and pound odd. Well, yeah, I'm already long on euro pound, but I mean, just to get out, basically, I'm already in. Yeah, I mean, you're this weekly high, which we've respected a few times, which is where we are. It's very hard to call. It's not. It's not going anywhere. I see a rounding top, but equally, you could see previous resistance broken and supportive. Just sit in the middle of nowhere. It's not doing anything. It's not a signal. It's just sitting there, idling. Afternoon, Mark. So propulsion is holding on Dow, and also at the moment on the S&P. Nasdaq doesn't have a propulsion area to hold. So is it going bull or is it going bearish? Are you still trading the futures prop accounts? No. Haven't traded futures for a long time now. I'd prefer to trade CFD indexes because obviously I can use EAs then. Okay, inside bar on the Dow. So there's no rejection to the downside on the Dow. There's definitely rejection. There's no pressure to the downside on the Dow. So we're holding the inside bar at the moment. Bullish. Nasdaq's holding bullish. S&P is holding bullish. Right, this is the 1 hour candle close. So typically get a bit of volatility off the 1 hour close as new positions get started. So see if we can crack this rally on this next hourly candle. So if you look at where we are on an hourly chart. Yeah, so hourly candles just closed. So we tend to get a lot of volume coming in, all the hourly traders entering all their positions. So we'll see where we go. Looks like it wants to pull back to me. We're at ADR. So, but it's a big bull move. Afternoon, Plowman. How are we doing? Very heavy. All the indices very heavy. DAX back inside this morning's range. I want to kind of watch these two together at the minute. So very nice rejection on that last 5-minute candle on the NASDAQ and the S&P, and the Dow Jones inside bar, very bullish. We've had 2 downside wick rejections in the last 10 minutes. So we're struggling to get higher, but we are definitely struggling to get lower. So still looks bullish, but we're pretty high up. So could well pull back now. See where we go. See what the dollar's doing. So you've just had an alert on the US dollar yen on the hourly. So that's now pushed up into 75.25 area. So approaching that magic 80 number where we tend to get good strong rejection. So there's a lot of ADR reversals just triggered, but as you can see, they're all yen. It's every single yen pair. So this is just the yen weakness. So you can't take all of those. Swiss yen got 125, look. Okay, putting a sell stop on the Swiss yen. Take a first position. So I'm just going to wait for this to obviously rally up. As soon as it starts to come down, I'll jump in. The EA will drag that pending order up for me as price moves, so I get the best price I can. Euro yen weekly range extension, so it's still pushing. That is your weekly range hit. So all the yens basically now done their weekly ranges, apart from US dollar yen. This looks like a stall out to me. I don't like the price action. Then the fact that we are at ADR. I know. Not looking pretty. But it's also not looking horrible. One of my kids taught me a new saying, a new term, new slang, basically, this week, chopped, which I've never heard of. But I wouldn't say it's looking chopped at the moment. You're off rushing to Google that now, aren't you, to find out what it means? Just about to stop out on the DAX. This DAX at the moment is just driving me nuts. Literally. Look at it. It's just awful. 3-bar reversal out of propulsion. That's definitely stopping out. Which doesn't bode well for the rest of the indices, really. Okay, we're holding. So S&P outside bar. Again, indecision. So inside bars and outside bars are indecision. We have made 3 higher highs on the Dow, and we just put higher lows. We just put a higher high in. Nasdaq's a higher high, higher low. So it's still bullish, but struggling. We really need a big order to come in, drive this thing up today. It's Friday afternoon, don't forget. We tend to run out of steam on Fridays very quick. We will see. Is non-farm payroll. Dow Jones is rejecting the highs, or rejecting the high of the last candle. Come on, move. Do something today. Swiss yen, high of the day. Pound yen, new high of the day. US dollar yen is just putting a new high of the day. Just. That should be a good trade, that Swiss yen. So there's 125 ADR about to alert. Literally hitting it to the pip. The bid isn't getting to it. But it's 125. Nice extension on that one as well. Okay. Nasdaq's holding. Says the S&P. It's all holding up here. This looks like a flag break to me. Bullish. Just need to break. Need a bull candle to go in. If we get a bull candle go in, they'll jump on it. Can't get one though. That sounded like the ADR alert on Swiss yen. There we go. Swiss yen 125 ADR. Good extension. So we're getting up into the realms of 90% certainty or 88% certainty. We're not going beyond that level. Good reversal opportunity. Critical level on the Aussie New Zealand. If we break that high, we've officially broken out of this range. So if we can close on the next hourly candle, if that closes outside here, we've got a decent run back up into test that propulsion gap. So see if we can hold this. It may well just pull back a little bit and look to see if it can get a bounce out of that area there. Oh, pulling teeth. Anybody got anything else they want to look at? We are literally stuck 20 minutes up here. Okay, I've got 20 seconds left on these candles. So we're inside bar on the S&P and the Nasdaq. Again, indecision followed by indecision followed by indecision. We are just Christmas trees on the Dow. So not going anywhere at the moment. Just stuck. So you've got an inside bar breakout potentially. Breaking the highs of that candle. We'll probably get a pop if we can break those highs. And then we're going straight into higher day. If we break high of day, that confirms that flag break. If still in the DAX as well. Holding not much hope for that DAX. Hesitant on the longs for indices? Too high up? Yeah, go for it. I tend to agree, but that's not my strategy. Can you recommend another indices to trade on Robo Forex alongside the DAX? No, there isn't for the morning. It's just the DAX on Robo. Stopped out the Dow. Well, I am about to stop out the Dow. Break even. All right, don't stop me out then. There we go. Stopped out the Dow. Break even. Yeah, so if you want to trade the FTSE, you need to switch brokers basically. So someone like Global Prime, which is who I use, or DarwinX. DarwinX also has Spanish, French, and stocks as well. But I use Global Prime. There's very few brokers out there that have got decent spreads on the FTSE. The FTSE is always a nasty spread. The only place that really has a very, very good spread on FTSE is TD365, but they only have a good spread on their web platform. Their MT4, MT5 platform does not have fixed spread, and it's still bad. So I've never found a decent broker for FTSE. Global's up there with the best that I've found, which is why I use them, because they've got decent spreads. But other than that, it's quite hard to find a good broker for FTSE. But I mean, the FTSE does move a little bit more independently than the DAX. So when you look at the DAX and the FTSE side by side, if you look at what we're kind of doing today, this price action is similar, but it's much more pronounced often on the FTSE. And often you'll get a decent move on one that you won't have appearing on the other. So they're a lot less confluent. So stopped out the DAX. This is going to be another one of those days today. I can feel it. I can feel it in my bones. That propulsion is holding at the moment. Yeah, so Global Prime. There's a link. Decent leverage as well. That's the other reason I like them, because you can I just don't want brokers with 1 to 30 leverage. You can't do anything with 1 to 30. You can, but it's hard. We've got Bowman speaking at the moment. Okay, so this is 35 minutes now. We've been sitting here doing that. I'm considering taking a manual on the Dow. That's obviously just stopped me out of break even on that. I've got a very tight trailing stop set on that at the moment, just because I want some. Don't want to get too leveraged on everything. However, I'm kind of liking this price action now because it is holding. Tempted to jump back in with a very tight stop. I want to see some bullish movement. Not getting. Let's see what the FTSE's doing. So the FTSE's coming down. DAX coming down. We are holding at the minute up here. Okay, so just put a buy stop on the Dow, just in case this breaks. If the S&P breaks and the Nas breaks, the Dow's going to get some pressure on it as well. So it's still looking like flag on these. So I just want a trade ready in case it does. Just very super tight stop, very low risk. It's either going to go with momentum or it's not. And if it doesn't go with momentum, I don't want to be in it. So that's a very, very tight stop, very short stop. Anybody got anything else I want to discuss? It's like watching paint dry today, isn't it? There's literally nothing going on. One tiny little move to the upside for 10 minutes, and that's it. Now it's looking a bit heavier on the Dow. I know this is a weird question, but is the market to you like a puzzle where you use the market clues, fundamentals, technicals to figure out direction? Or what analogy would you use for the market? It's not a puzzle. If you look at it like a puzzle, you'll be trying to figure it out for the rest of your life. It's not something you can work out. The market will do what the market does based on volume. That's it. So there's patterns that repeat themselves, but the fundamentals will give you a clue to long-term direction. Technicals will give you a clue to turning points. But at the end of the day, if someone jumps in right now with a 200 million order long on any stocks out there, this thing's going up. So, like Brian said, I like this for shorts because we're up at ADR. So do I. But if that guy comes along with 200 million, we're going to ADR 150. It's got nothing to do with technicals. So fundamentals and technicals you use as kind of footprints and guides. But at the end of the day, you don't have any control. You can't figure out a puzzle that changes every 5 minutes or every minute or every hour. So whatever time frame you're looking at, the pieces of the puzzle are moving and changing. There's nothing to solve. So right now, people are going, this is a beautiful short because my technical analysis tells me that this is an area that we should be shorting at. My fundamentals tell me that we are rallying on the Aussie or dropping on the New Zealand based on those figures that just came out for commodities, Canadian dollar, unemployment. So my fundamentals are telling me that we should be buying this. My technicals are telling me we should short it. How can you figure out the puzzle? So what happens when this candle closes bearish like that? What do you do then? Telling you the same thing. But then if that suddenly changes and that candle then goes up and breaks out of that high, your fundamentals are right, your technicals were wrong. But if it closes back down again, your technicals were right because it's changed. Every time a candlestick paints, it changes the outlook. Yeah. So you can't fix that because or work it out. You can guess. So, an outside bar is telling me there's indecision in the market. An inside bar is telling me there's indecision in the market. A double bottom with a higher high is telling me that we've got a slight bullish move, but a whacking great bearish engulfing is telling me we've got a bearish move. Every single candlestick is telling me that this could go up or down. So all you can do is decide on a direction, wrap risk around it, and hope that you're right. And you have no way of telling which way this is going. Brian thinks it's going short because Brian thinks it's hit ADR. I think it's going long because it's flagging. One of us is going to be right because this thing is either going to go down or it's going to go up. But Brian doesn't know why it's going to go up or down, and I don't know why it's going to go up or down. It's just going to go up or down. So it's an opinion. All markets are an opinion on price. I think we should be going higher. Someone else's opinion is that we should be going lower. If my opinion has 200 million behind it and his opinion has 50 million behind it, I'm winning. That's it. That's all that drives the market. price. Triggered long on the Dow. So yeah, but I used to look at it like that. I used to look at it a little bit like a puzzle, in that there's got to be a way to crack this, but you won't crack it. It doesn't matter how many times you try and crack the market, it will change, and whatever way you found to crack it will not crack it anymore because it adapts. The market is fluid. It's random. You cannot apply a set of rules to a random thing because it won't give you the same results every time. So you have to find something that works a majority of the time, but will lose a lot. And you just play the long-term edge. That's what I found out. That's all I can give you. David, good afternoon. Late fee. Enjoying my weekend. Thank you very much. They very much appreciated the $10. I may be going out this weekend, so I shall use that to my advantage, buying a beer. Thank you very much. He's back again. I like David when David arrives. Bears are stepping in again. There you go. Prime example. Yeah, I might use that $10 just to chuck in as another buy and just see if that helps. Pump it up a bit. That'd be good. Don't know. There's nothing you can do to, all you can do with everything in trading. All you can do is pick a strategy or develop a strategy that you have back tested, robustness tested, to make sure that it works with multiple variations of the strategy, and run the strategy. Yeah. At some point, that strategy will go into a losing run, which is what we call stagnation. So when you hit a period of stagnation, you will lose money. When you hit a period that the market has adjusted to, which suits the criteria of the strategy you've developed, you will make money. That's it. So you can't have one strategy that works all the time, because the market, and there is no market strategy that works all the time. If you're using a breakout strategy when you're in a range, you won't work. If you're using a trend strategy and you stay in a range, it won't work. If you're using a mean reversion strategy in a range, it will work. But when it starts to trend, it won't work. Yeah. So if you have a good mean reversion strategy, a good breakout strategy, that's pretty much all you need. And if you run the two together, one of them will be right. There are conditions where the market will just chop you around by doing things which are not breakouts and not ranges, and both of them will get chopped to pieces. That's where everybody gets blood red. You can't do anything with it. A little bit like this. Can't do anything with it. No one's making money here at the moment because it's not moving. If it doesn't go up or down, it doesn't matter which button you've pressed, you're going to lose. The people that are trying to trade price action now and using oh, look, we've got a higher high and a higher low, I'm going long. They will suddenly get a lower low and a lower high, and they'll go, I'm closing my long and I'm going short. And then they'll get a higher high and a higher low, and they'll go, oh, I'll shut my short and I'll go long. And all they're doing is making their P&L go like this, because it's not going anywhere. We're going sideways. You can read price action, but all reading price action does is it tells you what happened the last 5 minutes. What happens this 5 minutes has got nothing to do with the last 5 minutes, which is very eagerly proven by the S&P. Yeah. So we had a bull candle in the middle of a bear candle, which means that they didn't win. They didn't win. And then we had a push down from the bears, and we pushed back up again, and we put an outside bar in, which means the bears couldn't win and the bulls couldn't win. Then we had an inside bar, which means the bears tried to go short, but the bulls stopped them because they couldn't go shorter than they went last time, so nobody won that one. Then we put in an outside bar, which was a bullish engulfing. So some people look at that as a bullish candlestick. I look at that as an indecision. We couldn't go long, we couldn't go short. Now I'm looking at this bar going, well, at the moment, the bears are trying to go below that low and they couldn't get down there. Let's see if they can get above that high. If in the next 3 minutes we can't do either of those, that's indecision. So we've got indecision followed by indecision, followed by indecision, followed by indecision, followed by indecision, followed by indecision. Can't make money trading this. if you're trading on the 1 minute time frame or the tick level time frame, you could sell these highs and buy these lows. Yeah. And you will get tick, 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 tick out of it. That you can do. But when the thing's going parabolic, that doesn't work either. I wish I could give everybody a strategy that everyone can just go and trade, but there is no such thing. You have to learn the intricacies of this whole market. Just to illustrate what you said about difference in brokers, I'm up 6.72% on my account and down 1.14 this week on prop, running both ORB. Yeah. Very, very different. I'm doing a project. I covered it this morning in the live room. I'm doing a project for a couple of guys at the moment that I know, and I'm getting quite heavily involved in it. And we are basically building a website which has got loads of statistical analysis data for mainly CFDs. They're thinking about implementing futures, but it's all CFD based. And the reason they've got me involved is because of my coding and indicators, EAs, strategy development, all that sort of stuff. So I'm building out the kind of the technical part to do with data and stuff. And it's becoming very obvious. We're doing all this calculations, which will create ADRs, ADR dials and dashboards and all this sort of stuff. Market's crashing now. So this is going to be another stop out today. I think I'm going to go 10K down this week. Probably going to go down as probably the worst week for a good 2 months. Anyway, so yeah, we're doing all this. So we're using Dukascopy data initially for demo data. There you go, stopped out on the NASDAQ, about to flip short. Going to stop out on all three. Just loaded in DarwinX data into the platform to make sure that that worked. And all the dials change. All the readings change everywhere. So just by uploading a different data set, you've got different readings, which means that if you are a trader that uses IC markets, for example, and you come onto this website that is being built, you're going to look at this and get a reading that is nothing to do with your broker. Your broker is going to give you different readings. Yeah, but everybody's broker is going to give them different readings. So what do you use? There's nothing that you can use that is accurate because it's all very grey in trading. Everything is grey. The ADR level, if you pick an ADR 10, an ADR 5, and an ADR 20, they're all different. Yeah. If you do your calculations on ADR slightly different, it's going to be different. If you have a different time zone for your broker, the ADR reading is going to be different. If the spread on your broker is different, the ADR reading is going to be different. So when do you take an ADR reversal and when do I take an ADR reversal? Different times. But what it means is it's moved. That's the only confluence you have with indicators and readings. So when you're running the same strategy on multiple brokers, you're going to get very different results, which is why you cannot ever use backtesting to find a set file, because that set file will not repeat itself. But if you've got 5 set files or 20 set files or 50 set files that all produce a positive result, that all have different settings, but do roughly the same thing, that's going to form a robust strategy, which is what ORB is. Yeah, I've got 20,000 variations of the strategy that all make money. Yeah, they're all slightly different, but they all work. So that's where the long-term edge is. You're going to get weeks like this where it's just going to hemorrhage cash because you can't make money in breakout strategies in a range. It doesn't work. If the market doesn't break out, the breakout strategy fails. Nothing you can do about it. But it's all very different. Swiss yen could make in a few minutes bearish engulfing. So I'm short Swiss yen. Depends what time frame you're looking at. Lovely upside wick rejection there. Look. So reverse alert will be going in a second on that potentially. But, 125 ADR. Some people will be there. Some people will be there. I'm here because this is my broker. This is the reading that my broker's given me. So yeah, stopped out on all of them today. So I'm short the Nasdaq. I will be going short the Dow and the S&P if the market breaks down. But that's it. Done for the day with those three. So potentially I have a NAS. That's probably going to stop out. This thing's just a chop fest today. So I'm going to let it play out because that's what the edge is, letting it play out. The loss recovery system's kicking in. As soon as we do get a break, the loss recovery system's going to recoup. It's not going to recoup all the loss, no way. But it will recoup a good portion of it. So just be a down week this week. Sad way to start the month. Have you given us plenty of strategies? You have given us plenty of strategies that make us profitable. Yep. It's also up to us to learn. I position trade using RSI, but I've learnt and use hedging at times and aggressive positions. Yeah. Hedging is one of the things I just don't like. I cannot hedge. I'm rubbish at it. Just never got on with it. But other people do. So every strategy that you trade is either right for you or wrong for you. You have to try everything. There's no shortcuts in this game. You've got to just try stuff. You'll either get it or it won't. If it doesn't click, move on. When you find something that clicks, run with it. Develop it. All about managing drawdown. Yeah. My whole experience, thanks to you, is fun, challenging, but in the end, profitable. Good. That's it. That's what we want. Challenging. When you get stopped out like that, and like that, and like that, and the market then pops and rallies like crazy for the rest of the day and does 200 ADR, that's challenging. Watching 10 grand vanish because the market pulled back 3 pips further than you wanted it to. Can't do anything with that. It's just what happens. It's just random. Stops you out, flips the other way, stops you out, flies without you. Pain. Absolute pain today. Right. I'm going to leave it there today because this thing's just not going anywhere. So unfortunately, non-farm payroll killed the market today. We are getting some decent movement on ADRs, but on AWRs, but that's just because obviously it's Friday, so we've had a lot of movement this week. Mainly it's yen. So Swiss yen short is on, which means I am now exposed pretty much across the board. So Aussie New Zealand I'm long, Aussie US I'm short, which is a long on the US dollar. Swiss yen I'm short, Euro CAD I'm short, Euro Swiss I'm short, Euro pound I'm long, pound US I'm short. So I've got really good exposure across the board at the moment. So some of this is going to go to target, some of it isn't. But as you can see, I've got longs and shorts on pretty much. I'm fully exposed now on everything. So all I want is something to move. That's all we need, movement. Hopefully next week we'll get some, but I keep saying this. And as you can see from this week's P&L, I haven't banked this week. I have literally found nothing that has moved to target this week. So it means that nothing I've got into has moved an ADR in my direction. Can't even get an ADR out of stuff at the minute. It's just dire. It'll change at some point, hopefully soon. What working analogy do you use then for the market? What working analogy do you use then for the market? I've just answered this, haven't I? Are you miles behind on the chat? I don't really have an analogy for the market, really. It goes up, it goes down, it moves sideways. You press a button, you wait for it to go in your direction. If it goes in your direction, you get out. If it doesn't go in your direction, you make money. Or rather, the other way around. If it goes in your direction, you make money. If it doesn't go in your direction, you get stopped out. You lose money. Or you scale into a position. Look at that. That is the worst stop out in the world. Absolutely diabolical. Stop out on the long, triggered short, stop out on the short. one of those days. Right, so I'm flat. So unless it breaks to the downside today, that's me done. Can't do anything with that today. It's a shocking week. Shocking week. Absolutely given back 2 weeks worth of profit this week. But Monday, I will get back 5 to 10K of that. You know, this is what the loss recovery system is all about. Waiting for a break. We just need a break, basically. And we're not getting them at the moment. I can't believe that. Look at that pullback. Beautiful. Lovely market structure. Just, if we hadn't have had that move today, we'd have gone twice as far. But we didn't hit ADR, so... the market is boss. Yes, it is the boss. Yeah, one of the things that stuck in my mind when I was learning was somebody said to me, it's absolutely obvious, but it wasn't obvious at the time. The market pays you what the market wants to pay you when the market wants to pay you. So it's like working for somebody, and then saying, "I'll give you some salary at some point. Just carry on working, and at some point I will pay you. I'm not going to tell you when I'm going to pay you. I'm not going to tell you how much I'm going to pay you. But you carry on paying your bills and you carry on working for me until I pay you." That's basically what trading is. At some point, the market will go, "Do you know what? I think you earn this." And all of a sudden, you'll make a whacking great lump of cash. But it will not be every week. It will not be every day. And it will not be every month. It will be when it will be. So this is why you have to backtest long-term edges. You cannot develop strategies over a month. People come to me with a strategy. I got a guy this week emailed me a strategy and said, "I've backtested this over the last month. It looks phenomenal." I go and backtest it over 2 years and come back to me. And if it still looks phenomenal, we'll talk. I haven't heard anything back from him. Because all you're doing is you're looking at what's happened over the last month and you're saying, right, if I did that over the last month, I would have made money. This is 1 month that will never repeat itself in a single market condition that you cannot test over any other period because you're looking at 1 month. Doesn't work. That's the month that the market decided to pay you, and for the other 11 months it wasn't paying you. That strategy is useless. So you've got to develop over much bigger data sets. Backtesting anything under 6 months is just pointless. So you need a minimum of 6 months on initial testing, more if you can, depending on how complex the strategy is. But yeah, the market is your boss. And the market's decided this week is not my week. So I will see again what happens next week. Right, I will leave it there. Anything you need, let me know. I'll be back on Monday. We'll have a look at how the rest of this day's gone. I get the feeling it's slowing right down. So I get the feeling we might be petering out now anyway. So I'm not going to bank anything unless it gets further today. I'm not going to bank just because I haven't banked for a week. So, it doesn't look great, but I'm not going to bank this just so that I've got some numbers on a dashboard. This one I think has got further to go, Aussie, New Zealand. So nice breakout and pull back and then push up next week. So we'll see where we go next week. Looking at the weekend, there's nothing particularly exciting news-wise over the weekend. Lagarde's talking tomorrow. We're going into bank holidays on Monday for Europe. It's an absolutely dire week, look. So we've got CPI for the US dollar and PPIs. That's it. Look at that week for news. That's literally it. There's no news next week, apart from CPI. GDP hardly does anything. Claimant count hardly does anything. PPIs, yes. So it's basically dollar Wednesday, Thursday. Then we've got Michigan. What a rubbish week. Where's all the news gone? Just checking I've actually got everything turned on. Yeah. Well, there you go. Nothing moving. So have a good weekend. If you need anything, I'll be in Discord and Telegram over the weekend. Other than that, I'll be back Monday. Have a lovely weekend and hope it's sunny. See you next week.